Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I am your instructor, Richard Rost. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to add time and billing to your Microsoft Access invoicing database. Today's question comes from Fletcher in Madison, Wisconsin, one of my platinum members. Fletcher says, I'm using your TechHelp Free Template for invoicing. Can you add something where I can keep track of how much time I've spent working for my client so I know how much to bill them for at the end of the month? Well, sure, Fletcher. A lot of people like to keep time and billing in their database separate from the invoicing. That way, every time you do something for a customer, whether it's a phone call or in my case, like development work or training online or some research, you can put that in your, let's call it, work table. And then at the end of the month, you can bill them for all the stuff that's in the work table that you haven't billed them for yet. Let me show you how I'd set it up. So this is the TechHelp Free Template that Fletcher's using. You can download this for free off my website if you'd like to. I'll put a link down below in the link section. So let's start by creating a work table where we'll put all of the actual work items in here. So we've got the work ID, auto number. We've got the customer ID so we know who to bill it to. That'll be a number of type long integer. A description, of course, what kind of work was done, whether it's research or whatever. I like to throw notes in there. Now, rather than start time and end time, I like to put, when it comes to billing, I like to put a start date time and then billable hours. So, for example, I know I started it at, let's say, 9 a.m. on a Monday. Okay, and when I'm done, let's say I've worked for 3 hours. Maybe I only want to bill for 2.5, whatever. So I can put in the start date time so I know when I started. So later on when I'm done, I can look at it and be like, okay, I just spent 6 hours on this. But maybe you don't want to bill them for the whole 6 hours. Maybe you took a lunch break in the middle or whatever. So you know exactly when you started. And instead of putting an end date in, an end time in, and letting Access calculate that, because if you want to change the billable hours, then you got to go in there and figure, okay, I got to back this up to 4:30. Then no, just put the start date in there and how many hours you want to bill them for. That's how I like to do time and billing. And in the more advanced classes, in the extended cut, for example, I'm going to show you how to do like a little time clock. So you can click on start and then stop, and it'll actually keep track of that for you. But for now, this is just fine, right? Start, date, time. We'll make that a date time field. And the default value will be equals now, whenever you start it, right? Put the current system clock time in there. Then we'll do billable hours. So when you're done, you'll type that in. Now I'm going to make that a number. I'm going to make that a double. Okay, and the default value I'll put in there is 1 hour. All right, maybe you got a minimum billing of 1 hour, and then after that you bill in half-hour increments. So you can set it to 1.5, 2, 2.5, and so on. Now, some people bill different rates for different things. Like you might bill a phone call at one rate, research at a different rate, online training at a different rate, development at a different rate. Okay, so put your hourly rate in here, and if you want, that'll be currency. And if you want, default that. Let's say you normally bill $100 an hour. Put 100 down there. But you could change it. Or if you're billing for different people, different staff. Maybe you're a law firm and your lawyers bill a different rate than your paralegals do. All right, so you could change that as well for each client. And then, of course, you want to keep track of has been invoiced, right? Yes or no. Have you actually invoiced for this line item yet? Okay, so let's save this. This will be our work T, our work table. I like to throw some sample data in here real quick. So, customer ID 1, that's me. All right, maybe a phone call. No notes for this one. The start date time defaults to right now. That gets thrown in there automatically. Let's put 1 billable hour in there at $100, and it has not been invoiced yet. Okay, same customer. A little bit later on, some research. Okay, maybe I did half an hour of research at $75 an hour. Okay, all right, easy enough. Now, we're going to make a form to put all this into, but first, let's make a query that'll do a little calculation for us. So create query design. Now, if you've never done calculated query fields, go see that video first. I got a video on that. I'll put a link down below. Go watch that if you've never done calculated query fields before. Also, we're going to be using the if function, the immediate if. I call it the if function. All right, go watch that video too. Okay. So now that you're an expert in both of those things, bring in the work table. Then we can close that. Bring in all the fields from the work table. And I want to sort this by the start date time descending. Whoops, not in the criteria field. I want to put that in the sort field. right? So when I open up my form, the ones on top, I want to see the most recent items, okay, on the very top of the list. Now, I don't want duplicates in my query. If I run this right now, I'll get a duplicate, right? And it says field 0. So to avoid duplicates, we just simply hide it like that. And now if I run it, you don't see the extra copy of that field. Let's save this real quick while I'm thinking about it as my work queue, my work query. Now, what else do I want to put in here? Well, I've got the billable hours, and I know the hourly rate. Let's put in here the line total, which is the billable hours, times the hourly rate, right? So now I can see the total for each item, right? 1 hour at $100 an hour, right? And we don't have to worry about formatting that. We'll format it in the form. We'll make it look all pretty in the form. Okay, what's next in here? Well, I want to know how much I have not billed yet for this customer. Okay, so we're going to say unbilled is going to be if, let me zoom in so you can see this better. There we go. Unbilled if not has been invoiced, comma, line total, comma, 0. What does that say? Well, if this hasn't been invoiced, that means it's unbilled, right? Make this value the line total. Otherwise, make it 0 because it's been billed. All right? That's pretty cool, huh? Let's take a look at that. See? Now, if I mark one of these as has been invoiced, that goes to 0. So I can easily see at the bottom of the column how much I haven't billed this customer for. All right, pretty snazzy. All right, let's save that. Now let's go build a form. Now, if you haven't watched the video in which I build this, the invoicing video, all right, go watch this video first, because in that video and in the one before it where I build the blank template, all right, I create this continuous form. It's a blank continuous form, so we don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. So let's modify this continuous form. Actually, let's copy and paste it. Copy, paste. That's Control-C, Control-V for those of you who don't know your keyboard shortcuts, right? Let's call this my work F, my work form. All right, right down here now. Let's design this guy, design view. First thing we do is bind it to the work query. So come into all, drop this down, and find the work queue. Now this form is bound to that query we just built. So we can still edit the data, but we also get our calculated fields. Okay, very important. Let's change up the colors a little bit. It has to do with time and billing, so I'm going to make it green for money. Let's go to Format. Let's drop this down. Let's go kind of that like that green. Let's go a little darker, though. Let's go into the palette here, and let's drag this down to, oh, I don't know, about there. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. All right, now I'll click down here, click the same color, go into here, click the same color. Let's make it a little bit brighter, though. Let's go up to about that green. Yeah, it looks good. And we'll copy the back color over the alternating back color, so those are the same. I hate that alternating back color. Okay, so now I keep these in here just for fun, but we don't need those. Let's get rid of those. Let's go to Design and Add Existing Fields. Now we don't need the work ID in here. All right, the auto number is meaningless for this form. We don't need to see it. All right, the customer ID, I'd like to bring in a combo box for the customer. We'll do that in just a second. Let's bring in description. Notes I'm going to put down here. Actually, I'll bring customer up here so I don't forget to put the combo box up top. I always do. Okay, let's bring in, what else we got? The start date time, that's going to go up here first. The billable hours we need, obviously. The hourly rate, whether or not it's been invoiced. And then our line total and our unbilled. We'll bring those over here on the right. And this is a big jumbled mess, isn't it? Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of all of these labels. Yeah, I know there's a faster way to do all this, but I'm kind of old school. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so I'm going to go start date time over here on the left. Then my description. There's a certain satisfaction I get from laying this out by hand. I don't know what. All right, billable hours will go here. That doesn't have to be quite that big. Hourly rate will go next to it. Okay, now because of that, now I have my line total and my unbilled amount. And let's slide that over like that. Now, these two guys, you can't edit those. So I like to tell the user visually, let's make those gray. Let's go like about that gray right there. Okay, and here's my invoiced way over here on the end. All right, let's adjust the tab order so that these guys are all in line. Tab order, auto. All right, and if you want to, you can even take these two out of the tab order. Right-click, Properties, and then go to Other, and then Tab Stop, say No. That way when they're tabbing along, tab, 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 it doesn't even stop there. All right, because you can't change those anyways, right? All right, I'm going to delete that label for the notes. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to steal some fields from other places. Watch this. The customer ID is a combo box, right? And it's bound to a field called customer ID. I happen to already have one of those on my order form, right? And since you watch these videos, you know how I did all this stuff, right? So design view, I'm just going to copy that combo box, copy. I'm going to slide back over here and paste it in. Now I can delete that text box. See that? So I already have a combo box built, right, for the customer. Let's slide this down. Let's move these labels down a little bit, and let's slide the customer over here like this. Okay, so there's the customer. Okay, maybe make that a little bit bigger. Let's make this white format. And wrong one, drop that down, pick white. I like to pick the standard colors, by the way. I don't usually use theme colors. All right, I'm going to do the same thing with that notes field. I've already got a pretty notes field, delete. Right here on my customer form. I like this notes field, the yellow look with the sticky paper shadow in the background, right? Copy you, copy, and paste. And since the fields are named the same, I can get away with this. All right, it's notes on this form, it's notes on the other form. This is where you put the notes about what this particular billing is for. Okay? All right, now let's make these labels pretty. All right, start, date, time. Slide this one over. Description. And now we need more of them, right? For the other ones. So copy, paste, 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 paste. All right, we'll just slide these over here like this. Yeah, I know there's faster ways to do this, but like I said already, I like doing it by hand. Okay, so we've got, this is the billable hours. So let's go hours, HRS, like that. Remember, these are just the labels. These are what the person sees. So we can put whatever we want in these. Hourly rate. Okay, let's put the line total here. We'll put unbilled next to it. And you know what? For unbilled, we really don't even need to see this here. I want to have unbilled down below here, but we'll move that in just a second. Let's slide that over. And we'll put over here INV for invoiced. Okay. All right, slide you right there. Let's see what we got. Close that. Open it up. Looks good. All right, a little bit of formatting to do here still. Let's right-click, design view. Let's format this guy. What do I want to see in here? Let's do MMDDYYHHNN, like that. Yeah, it'll be in 24-hour time, but you know what? I'm comfortable with it, and that's what I want to see. Looks good. Let's left align everybody in here. I know people want numbers and currency values to the right. I like everything left aligned. That's just me. It's my preference. I almost never right align stuff. I think that looks a whole lot better. Okay? I never bill in cents, so I can make the rate in here at least. I can make that. Let's make that under format. Let's go $0, just like that, without any decimal points after it. Let's see what we get. All right, looks good. Now these might be formatted with that. You might want to build in fractions. All right, so right-click, properties, and we'll make the format for these currency. That just gives us the 2-digit decimal values. Let's see. Well, I keep going back to the customer form. You know what? While I'm thinking about it, let's do this. Let's go to the customer form. Let's put a button on here to open up the work form. All right, so I'm going to slide this guy over a little bit, and let's copy one of these buttons. Copy, paste. And why are you not copying and pasting? Copy, paste. My keyboard has been doing some weird stuff lately. Copy, paste. There it goes. Okay, it finally took a second. Sometimes my video recording software does weird things when I'm copying and pasting. Let's change this caption to work, and let's give it a good name so Alex doesn't yell at us. Let's go to work button here, work BTN for the name of the button. Now, you could use the command button wizard and drop a button down here, but I'm going to do it my way. Right-click, build event. That'll open up the VB code window. You might get a message up saying, which builder would you like? Pick the code builder. If you haven't watched my intro to VBA class, go watch that. VBA is not hard. Don't let it scare you. Do command.open form. What form are we opening up? The work F. That's it. Now you can come in here and say comma, 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 where the customer ID equals the customer ID on the current form. That'll open up just the work items for this particular customer. See how easy that is? Don't let VBA scare you. It's not hard. And once you know how to do that, it's actually faster than using the wizards. It is. And you get better results. All right, so now save your changes, yes. Now if I come in here, open up work, I get just the work for this particular customer. Now, I personally hate these little pop-up date pickers. I don't like them. They float over stuff. I turn them off usually, especially since the start date time right here, it's going to default when we want to create a new one. It defaults to the current date and time. So if you want to change it, you can click in here and change it. But I usually turn off those date pickers. So I'm going to go under Format and Show Date Picker. I'm going to say Never. That's just my preference. Again, you can do whatever you want if you like to use those things. All right, there we go. All right, research, phone call. What's this one going to be? You know, I don't know, courtroom time. I don't know. All right, 3 hours, and for that I bill 150. Okay, see, there you go. Let's throw some form footer totals down here. Again, I got videos on form footer totals. Go watch those if you've never done a form footer total before. Right-click, Design View. I'm going to copy the total and the unbilled. Copy, paste them down here in the footer. See how I did that? Copy them, and then paste them down here. Now for line total, this is going to be equals the sum of the line total. And I'm going to make its name sum line total. And I'm going to do the same thing for the unbilled. All right? Equals the sum of unbilled. Now you have to have that in the query for you to be able to do a form footer total on it down there. Okay? So that's that, that's that, that's that. Okay, let's make this guy, I knew I was forgetting somebody. Sum unbilled. Save that. All right, and now if you go into work, you can see how much you have to still bill this guy for. Now if you click on one of those here, remember you got to move off the record for it to update the form footer totals. All right, you could put a me.refresh in there if you want to. All right, again, a little tiny bit of coding. I teach all this stuff in my developer classes. All right, but the problem is that the calculations don't update until the record is refreshed, which means you have to move off of the record to another line item. But if you want to make it, force it to refresh, whenever you change any of these things, all you got to do is go into that individual control, go to Events, go to After Update, and then in here, say me.refresh. That's all you got to do. See, it's not hard. VBA, whoops, I hit the maximize button by accident. It's hard if you're like me and you're clumsy, right? Okay. But now if I come in here, as soon as I click that button, it refreshes the calculations. See? See that? Down the bottom, look at that. See? 137 for 587. You can do the same thing with these guys too. You can change this to 2. You can have it immediately update down below. I do that a lot for all of my my order entry stuff, right? After update event right there, me.refresh. That way it doesn't confuse people, right? Same thing with the hourly rate. If you change that, me.refresh, me.refresh. Always put those in there. Because it's confusing, right? You get someone who doesn't know Access. You're used to like Excel, for example. If you're used to treating this like a spreadsheet, all right, if you type, as soon as you type in 1 and tab off of it to the next one, you want to see your totals update. Well, Access doesn't work that way. Access only updates calculations in the form footer when the record is saved. And the record is not committed. If I come here and do that, right? See that little pencil? That means this record is dirty. Dirty means it hasn't been saved to the table yet. If I hit escape right now, nothing happens. It doesn't save it. All right, if I come over here and put a 6 in there and hit escape, it doesn't save it. Okay, so if I hit 6 now and hit tab, now it updates because I got the me.refresh in there. See, it's these little teeny tiny enhancements that Learning VBA can take your database. It can take you from a beginner Access user to an advanced Access user with very little work. All right, just knowing a couple little things to enhance your databases. It's all the stuff I teach in my developer lessons. Okay, now I know right here at the end of the month I can open this up and say, okay, you got $975 that I haven't billed you for. All right, so I can mark these invoiced, and I can come over here, orders, right? I can add a new order. All right, billing. And then you put in here like billing for March 2021, right? And $975 or whatever they owe you. All right, you want to put the totals down here, what you billed them for, all that stuff. Okay, now close that out. Now you might want to have it so when you come into here, you only see the stuff that is not billed. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, I put a little checkbox right here that says show all. Normally when you click on this, you want to see the stuff that you haven't invoiced for yet. Okay, so watch this. Design view. I'm going to put a little checkbox in here right there. We're going to call this guy show all. All right, show all means I want to see everything versus the norm will be just show me the stuff that's not invoiced yet. So let's make this guy called show all. And the default value will be no. Now, tiny little bit of work in here, right? Right click, build event. Right here, I'm going to say if show all, then do that. Show me all of the items for this particular customer. Otherwise, I only want to see the items for this customer that have not been billed yet. All right, got to know a little bit of SQL to do this. I'm going to copy that, paste it down here. All right, here's the where condition. If you've never done any SQL before, go watch my SQL videos. Again, I'll put some links down below for you. All right, so the where condition right here, customer ID equals whatever the customer ID is in the current record, 3, for example. And I can spell and today, and has been invoiced equals false. That's it. See, even SQL isn't that scary once you know what you're doing. All right, save it, close it, customer, work. Look at that. I'm not seeing anything. Right? Because it's only showing me the stuff that hasn't been invoiced yet. Unless I click on show all, then it'll show me everybody. Okay, see that? So it's time to go add some more stuff. Come in here. All right, let's say I started today at, I can probably make this a little bit bigger here. Let's make this bigger. Let's slide this out just a little bit so we can see the whole thing in there. I'll put the AM and PM back on. Not a lot of people like 24-hour time. So let's go into here, format. Let's put the AM, PM on the end there. Why not, right? Okay. All right, looks good. Let's say I started today at 9 a.m. We did some research. 6 hours of it at $75 an hour. Okay, and that's it. We're done for the day. Go away. Okay, come back tomorrow. Open up Mr. Rost. Go back to his work. See that? And yes, you could make a button on your main menu if you want to click on it to see everybody who has to be billed. Okay. Right? Certainly the sky's the limit once you understand how to do all this stuff, right? But now we know how to go into the customer form, right? Open up the work form here so we can see what we've done. Let's say the next day we come in here, we did meeting. We met for an hour and a half. I bill $130 an hour for that, and there we go. Now at the end of the month, I can quickly see down here how much I have to bill this customer for. And there you go. There's your basic time and billing. Of course, lots more to come in the extended cut. Want to learn more about time and billing? In the extended cut for members, I will show you how to add a start and stop timer right on the work form. When you click start, the little timer will start up and it will count up seconds. And this will allow you to automatically track how much time you spend. If you take a break, you go get lunch, whatever, you click the stop button. You can come back later, hit start again, start the timer up. I'll show you how to lock all the controls on the form so you can't manually edit them while the timer's running. That's important sometimes. Then I will also show you how to round up the hours billable to 15-minute increments. So if you've worked for an hour and 5 minutes, we'll round it up to an hour and 15 minutes. That's all covered in the extended cut for members. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut videos. Gold members can download this database. I also have a time and billing seminar available on my website. In addition to what's covered in the extended cut, I go over lots more, including billing all of your customers that have unbilled hours with one click. It'll automatically generate invoices for them, and then you can batch print them or email them all out. That's all covered in my time and billing seminar, also available as just a template. I'll put a link down below for you. How do you become a member? Click the join button below the video. After you click the join button, you'll see a list of all the different types of membership levels that are available. Silver members and up will get access to all of the extended cut tech help videos, live video and chat sessions, and more. Gold members get access to a download folder containing all the sample databases that I build in my TechHelp videos, plus my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus access to my full beginner courses and some of my expert courses. These are the full-length courses found on my website, and not just for Access. I also teach Word, Excel, Visual Basic, ASP, and lots more. But don't worry, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and feel free to post any comments that you have. I do read them all. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free, and click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Click on the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. You'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted, so if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of building databases with Access. It's over 3 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. And if you like Level 1, Level 2 is just $1. And it's also free for all members of my YouTube channel at any level. Want to have your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my Tech Help page and you can send me your question there. Click here to watch my free Access Beginner Level 1 course, more of my Tech Help videos, or to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching this video from AccessLearningZone.com.